Greetings, entertainment lovers. Last week saw the conclusion of the 25th Heartland Film Festival, the Midwest's largest film festival. Throughout the show, we'll have interviews, reviews, and much more.
So get your festival passes ready because from Ball State University, the real deal starts now.
Hello and welcome to The Real Deal, Ball State's one and only entertainment news show. I'm Logan Sowash.
And I'm Tina Merrick. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our annual Heartland episode. This year marked the Fest's 25th anniversary, so there was a plethora of great things to talk about.
Before we get to the festival itself, though, we have Angelo Ariema with us to talk about this week's Hollywood headlines. Angelo?
First up in news this week, Marvel makes like the Cubs and cracks yet another home run. Their newest film, Doctor Strange, shattered expectations and outperformed its projected box office earnings. Helmed by the Sherlock star Benedict Cumberbatch, the film raked in a whopping $85 million, proving wrong everyone who suspected that superhero fatigue would finally afflict audience members across the nation. Its earnings nearly doubled the weekend's box office runner-up, Trolls, and significantly outperformed Mel Gibson's Hacksaw Ridge, which pulled off a respectable third-place outing in its theatrical debut. Next up, Rami Malek of Mr. Robot fame has been confirmed to be portraying music legend Freddie Mercury in the upcoming film titled Bohemian Rhapsody. Word was solidified when the film's director, Bryan Singer, posted a photo of Queen on Instagram along with the caption, "Looking forward to Rami Malek playing Freddie." No news has been given as to when audiences should be expecting the film, though it will be brought to theaters by the men and women at 20th Century Fox and New Regency. Finally, Bill Murray returned to Saturday Night Live this past weekend, only this time he had 3 Chicago Cubs in tow. In celebration of their first World Series victory in 108 years, players Anthony Rizzo, David Ross, and Dexter Fowler joined the legendary comedian in a rendition of the Cubs' victory song, Go Cubs Go. Murray, a regular attendee of Cubs games, also made news earlier in the week by giving a fellow fan a free ticket to Game 6 of the World Series. That has been your Hollywood headlines for this week. I'm Angelo Ariema.
Thank you, Angelo, and a special Real Deal congratulations to the Chicago Cubs for winning the World Series, even if Back to the Future 2 was off by a year.
Parks and Rec got it right at least.
That's true. That's comforting. Moving on to our Heartland coverage, we had a chance to speak to several notable people in the entertainment industry throughout our coverage.
Here, interviewing actor Richard Robinchow, who was there to promote the Heartland screening of his film, The Book of Love, is Brandon Krakowski.
Brandon?
Talk a little bit about your role in the film, The Book of Love.
Yeah, I play Pascal, who is a Cajun day worker. I have a big handlebar mustache, and most of my lines are indecipherable. They're all in Cajun French. And my family is originally from Louisiana, and so I leaned a lot on my grandfather and some of those things. And you being at a university, I actually teach at Penn State. I'm also an acting teacher.
Oh, excellent.
And so I love to support a university network. And so teaching acting and being an actor is a great privilege. So I get to show my students how to do character work.
That's great. I was going to ask that second because I knew that, and I was going to ask about the dichotomy between both teaching and always being a student in the craft.
Exactly. And what I feel like I can do best is bridge the gap between the classroom and the casting room. That so often that's the Grand Canyon. You know, but for me and for my students, it's a walking bridge. Is that I can tell them what we just did on set tomorrow, and or what we'll do on set, what we did yesterday. Yeah. Those kinds of things are invaluable to students, I think.
Absolutely. And our school, Ball State University, we are very much a media school. We have a lot of emerging programs. And I wanted to ask if you had any tips for people like us who want to do video or audio or even acting, anything in the entertainment industry. What advice would you give to a student like us to get into the field of entertainment?
You have to remain curious. The moment that you feel like you've got it, you've lost it. There's a great philosopher and poet, Charles Simic, and he says that all of us are just chasing a black cat in a darkened room. And occasionally someone says, I got it. But you have to stay curious. There will come a point in your education where you think, okay, I'm done. And then you'll be done. You have to continually be curious, push yourself, and learn. I'm taking piano right now. I'm 43 years old. You have to just keep doing things like that, pushing yourself.
Absolutely. One final question. You are also known for your work with Mr. Richard Linklater.
Yeah.
We are big fans of his back at our organization. We were wondering, do you just have an incredible eye for projects? Because the Book of Love looks great, Linklater's great, We Love You and Bernie. Do you just have a magic eye and a magic compass?
I am so grateful, and I'm so fortunate to be such a good actor because it means really great people want you. And Rick, I'm about to do another movie with Rick in about 2 weeks. And so it'll be my third Linklater film, and which is called Last Flag Flying, and it's a sort of a you know Rick. It's like a spiritual sequel to The Last Detail, the Hal Ashby film. And I'm so excited about that. I get to work with Lawrence Fishburne and Bryan Cranston and Steve Carell. I mean, I can't believe it's me. I mean, I'm so fortunate.
And you're stopping by Indiana to say hi to us. All right, well, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations with the film and all of your endeavors. Nice to meet you too.
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you to Mr. Robichaux for talking to us.
We'll be right back with Vivian Pong and more.
Dante defined our modern conception of hell 700 years ago. Why Dante? Why this map of hell? Someone created a plague.
Don't come over here with that damn foolishness. Let something jump up out of this damn box. You got knocked the hell out.
What's up, ladies? We're having a Halloween party tonight, so why don't you come on by?
Tiffany, what's going on? Chill out, Pops. It's cool. Hey, Medea, I gotta go out of town. I was wondering if you can...
I always dreamed about being a doctor, but didn't get much school. I can't stay here while all them go fight for me.
But you figure this war is just going to fit in with your ideas?
While everybody else is taking life, I'm gonna be saving it. And that's gonna be my way to serve.
Why do I live in a heavily fortified survival bunker? Because right outside my door lurks a nightmare. Named Poppy.
A 5, 6, 7, 8. Everybody, move your
Poppy is the leader of the trolls, and it's not her fault.
Why are you doing this?
There are other ways to save lives.
Welcome back to the show.
One of the Heartland's primary goals as a festival is to present films with stories that inspire.
Here to review one such film is Vivian Pong. Vivian?
This year at Heartland Film Festival, I had the privilege to attend screenings of roughly a dozen films. One of these films, a Japanese movie by the name of Persona non grata, was a movie that at points left me in awe of what I just saw, while other parts of the movie just left me feeling a bit confused about what I just saw. Persona non grata, directed by Kellen Gluck, depicts the diplomatic career of Sugihara Shione, a Japanese diplomat in the 1930s and 40s. The film shows his efforts to save Jews from persecution, eventually helping 6,000 people escape to freedom. Essentially, it's the Japanese Schindler's List. It stars Toshiaka Karasawa as Shione, Kuyoki Kato as his Sashiko, Shione's wife, and Boris Zeik as Pesh, Shione's driver, obtainer of information, and general right-hand man. In my view, the acting in this film was one of its greatest strengths, particularly Kurosawa's lead portrayal as Shione. Kurosawa's raw emotion mixed with his struggle between doing what he feels is right and what his government is ordering him to do was far and away the most compelling part of this film. Kurosawa paired the well-timed comedic relief of Boris Zeik's Pesh very well, providing a nice dynamic that gave the movie a lift when it needed it. However, as good as the acting was, there were a few aspects of this film that left me scratching my head. The writing struggled at times, and sometimes the cinematography left me thinking, why did they use that shot? However, the biggest issue I had with this movie was the fact that there never really seemed to be any sense of urgency. In a World War II drama about saving Jews from the Holocaust, a sense of urgency from the main characters is a bit of a necessity, and I never really got that at any point in the movie. Another thing about this film that puzzled me was the lack of a central antagonist. Earlier, I compared this film to Schindler's List, but a more accurate description would be Schindler's without Ralph Fiennes. I knew there was the dark, ominous cloud of the Nazis hanging over the whole film, but the film could have established this with one central villain in the plot, which it never did. In short, Persona non grata did a good, not great job of telling the story of a truly great man who deserves to have his story told to the wide audience. Strong performances from the film's cast carried the movie throughout and helped it overcome some of its shortcomings. For that reason, I give this film 3.5 stars out of 5. I'm Vivian Pong.
Thank you, Vivian. Sounds like Persona non grata is a worthy film to see for anyone looking for a story that gives us a new perspective.
We'll be right back with Brandon Krakowski and more. Thanks for sticking around. Though many of Heartland's films aim to inspire with heavier themes, that's not always the case.
Indeed, sometimes the most inspiring films are the ones that have us smiling all throughout, affirming our lives.
Here with his review of Trivia Night is Brandon Krakowski. Brandon?
Last year, my favorite film of the festival was the weirdo, heartfelt, Don Hertzfeldt animation World of Tomorrow. It was beautiful, moving, and incredibly crafted. My favorite thing about Heartland, as this year showed me, is that the sheer variety of films put on display is incredible. My favorite film this year was not some kind of sweeping emotional epic or heady genre exercise. No, it's an indie comedy made for almost nothing that looks, sounds, and is structured better than most professional Hollywood comedies. I speak, of course, of Trivia Night, the scrappy underdog of the fest that made waves with every viewer on site. The film follows Scott, a trivia master who makes his living hopping from bar to bar and acing their weekly trivia challenges. A few years before our film's main story, he participated in a TV game show called Trivia Night, an infamously difficult trivia challenge that no one has gotten further than around 5 questions on. The show decided to hold auditions for a redemption episode, and it's up to Scott to train for the show and defeat his competition. What I loved about this film is just how unconventional the underdog situation is in this. We've seen countless sports movies with underdogs, but to focus on bar trivia is inspired. It's like nothing you've ever seen in a theater while still holding true to familiar tropes of a genre. In addition to that, the performances are uniformly excellent. Scott's a problematic figure who's often terrible to those who care most about him. However, the performance poured into his character still allows us to root for him, which is crucial for a film like this. He is surrounded by a cast of very funny and very game actors, all who do their job very well. Apart from the acting, the writing is all around excellent. There's an astounding clip of jokes that land incredibly well, leading to genuine belly laughs throughout. I know my friends and I were fairly often falling into fits of laughing hysteria while the film played. Don't worry, the film never gets too heady with its humor, though it does have intellectual jokes here and there out of necessity for the topic. The humor is still broad and accessible enough for everyone to latch onto. One last note on the actual quality of the film. This does not look or sound like a $30,000 picture, as the director claimed it was during the Q&A. The cinematography looks better than any Judd Apatow film. The sound design and score were both effective, and none of the actors seemed like they were only there to cash a favor from a friend. If you told me that this film cost a couple $1 million, I would absolutely believe it, and that's one of the highest compliments I can pay a film like this. It's a passion project that also shows its chops, something that really inspires me as an aspiring filmmaker and creative. When my friends and I left the theater, after tearing the highest possible score on our audience choice cards, we all took to social media to rave about the film, hoping to get out the word as much as possible. We all agreed that this was the kind of film festivals are made for, low budget and low exposure, but inspiring all the same. And luckily, as we spent our weekend in Indy, we began to see signs posted that screenings for the film were beginning to sell out. Not bad at all, considering we saw it about 3/4 full in that theater. I'm giving the triumphant and excellent Trivia Night 5 out of 5 stars. If you're interested in the film at all, follow the creators on Twitter at Trivia Night Film, or check out their website at localempirefilm.com. They said at the screening that the film will be available to stream soon, so look out for that. Please, find a way to see this film. Never before have I walked out of a festival screening so eager and excited to champion a film. Until next time, it's Brandon Krakowski.
Thank you, Brandon. Though Scott faced a lot of difficult questions in Trivia Night, there's no question that we've got a great final segment for you.
To promote her film, The Book of Love, alongside Richard Robichaux, famed actress Jessica Biel came to Heartland, and you bet we had a chance to talk to her.
Brandon Krakowski was on hand for the interview. Take a look.
What is your character's role in this film?
My character's role in this film is sort of the heart of the movie in a sense, and I don't say that. I say that with a lot of humility. My director would say that. She is sort of the inciting incident to the main characters and how they meet each other, how they sort of embark on this unusual friendship, and how they go on this kind of amazing adventure as they overcome their own personal grief. So she's sort of the heartbeat of the film and kind of brings everybody together and sends everyone off on their journey.
And with an amazing journey, obviously has an amazing ensemble. We got Jason Sudeikis and Macy Williams. Could you talk a little about what it was like to work with such an incredible group?
It was a real treat. We got so lucky to work with such an amazing cast. Jason actually was the original actor that my producing partner Michelle and our director Bill always wanted for this part, and he was busy over the 9 years that we tried to get this thing to happen. He was busy, then he was available, and we weren't available, and we weren't ready for him, and all these things happened, and yet it still came back to him at the end, and it was like such a kismet kind of a situation that we got to work with him. And then of course Maisie, who we are all such huge fans of from Game of Thrones, of course.
Yeah, that's my heart.
My heart too.
Excellent.
Seriously, I was so thrilled that we were working with Arya Stark. I couldn't contain myself. And she's just, I don't know, she's sunshine. She's just magic. She's innocent, but she's so worldly. She's wise, but she's so fresh and spontaneous. She's an incredible artist.
And finally, the music for this film, done by your husband, Mr. Justin Timberlake. How did that work? Would he come home and he'd give you a track? He's like, hey, is this good? And then you'd listen you're Justin Timberlake, this is good, obviously. Is that how it worked? Or what was that collaboration like, hearing the score to the story come to life?
That's pretty accurate, pretty close. He would come home, he would play me a track, and I would basically say, yeah, that sounds amazing. I don't know what else. Yeah, good, great, next. No, he was really collaborative, and he was really interested in doing something like this, something he's never done before. And he was just such a gem to do it for us and basically do it for free. Which, I mean, I feel very lucky because he's kind of expensive. So we got really lucky on this one.
Good for the film. All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Nice talking with you.
Nice talking with you, too.
Thank you, Brandon. And thank you to Jessica Biel for talking to us.
A very special thank you to our crew that was on site at Heartland, and to the Heartland Film Festival itself, which has been an amazing collaborator for us for years.
We look forward to the many years to come.
One final Heartland note, we had the chance to sit down for a 10-minute interview with actor John Rhys Davies, who is known for his roles as Gimli in Lord of the Rings, also known as Indiana Jones, and he's also his Heartland feature film Winter Thaw, and much more.
You'll be able to find the audio interview at realdealbsu.com, along with other reviews, stories, and more from both Heartland and the media in general. We'll be right back with our final word.
All I'm asking is for 5 days for you all to act like a family.
You all should feel like a bunch of dumbasses. Just gonna blow my buzz.
If I close my eyes, I can see Mom in here like it was yesterday.
She is here. She's in every pot and every pan.
It's really good to have you back, little brother.
Your story, Billy, no longer belongs to you. It's America's story now.
I haven't been sleeping that well. I saw Tom, but everybody's been saying he's dead.
Your sleep problems are making it difficult for you to distinguish.
Love me. What I'm really interested in is love. You might say I'm addicted to love. You want to take a girl up there?
I know what it is.
What does it say?
Offer weapon.
I don't need an interpreter to know what this means.
We don't know if they understand the difference between a weapon and a tool.
China just threatened to...
For our final word, Tina and I would like to give our thanks to Heartland. Here at The Real Deal, we always look forward to October when we have the incredible opportunity of going to Indianapolis for the Heartland Film Festival. For us, it's no small thing. I mean, Heartland is a qualifying festival for the Academy Awards in the short films category, and it brings together film screenings, actors, and filmmakers all in one place in the Midwest. It's the kind of luxury that we, in the Midwest, certainly can't take for granted, and believe me, we didn't.
We got the chance to talk to Richard Robinchow and Jessica Biel, both there to promote their film, The Book of Love. And we got to watch some of the festival's film screenings, like for the inspirational Persona Non Grata and the uplifting Trivia Night. We feel honored to have been there for Heartland's 25th year and want to thank the festival for allowing us to cover it for the show, as well as thank the talented actors we interviewed. We already can't wait for next year.
And that wraps up the show for this week. Be sure to check out our website, Facebook, and Twitter pages for news and updates on all things entertainment. Please check out Heartland, and I'm Logan Sowash.
I'm Tina Merrick. We'll see you next time.